Hey, hold up. Don't scroll. Don't click. Just hang with me for a minute. Yeah, I know. You came here for some hack to boost your memory. Some magical formula to remember everything like Sherlock Holmes on a caffeine drip. But let me ask you something before we get into that. What's the point of remembering everything? If you don't remember who you are? Yeah, let that simmer for a second. Now, don't worry. I'm not about to guilt trip you into a mindfulness practice or tell you to stop drinking iced coffee. This is about something way more powerful. It's about a man who built a furniture empire from basically nothing, using memory as his weapon and simplicity as his strategy. And spoiler alert, he wasn't a genius. He was just clear. Clear about what mattered, clear about what didn't. This is the story of Ingvar Kamprad, the IKEA guy. The man who could walk into a warehouse, remember every item's cost, weight, material, and still beat you in chess, all while wearing a $10 jacket from the 70s. Let's talk about how he did it. Let's talk about how you can do it too. I'm a Mr. Sticks A Stocks, and I will be your host today. Want to build a $1 billion empire and still remember your shopping list? Stick around, because today we're cracking the memory hacks of IKEA's legendary founder, Ingvar Kamprad. Yes, the man who made flat-pack furniture a global obsession also had a mind like a meatball-scented steel trap. And if you've ever forgotten an investing principle, a business idea, or even your Netflix password, this is your video. Welcome to Sticks and Stocks, the channel where we assemble financial wisdom, one stick figure at a time. Kamprad wasn't flashy, he wasn't born rich, but he did turn a mail-order business into a $60+ billion furniture dynasty. His secret weapon? A systemized, almost obsessive memory routine that helped him scale with military precision. Let's break down some IKEA-approved hacks that'll boost your memory, and maybe your bank account. Stick around for until the end. It's so simple, it's borderline Swedish sorcery. First hack, the quiet power of simplicity. Here's the thing about Ingvar. He wasn't flashy. He didn't pull up in Lamborghinis or throw parties in space. He was the kind of guy who reused tea bags, who flew economy class even when he could buy the plane. But that simplicity wasn't just frugality, it was mental clarity. You ever walked into a messy room and suddenly forgot why you were there? Yeah, that's your brain crashing under clutter. Kamprad designed his life like he designed his furniture. Minimal, functional, unforgettable. He once said, "Waste of resources is a mortal sin at IKEA." That includes the most precious resource you've got, your attention, your energy, your memory. Most people try to remember more by adding more. More apps, more books, more sticky notes. Kamprad remembered everything by subtracting what didn't matter. So ask yourself right now, what's eating up your memory? That drama on your feed? That fake productivity? That fourth tab open with a task you've already abandoned? Kamprad wasn't born with a photographic memory. He trained his mind to prioritize what moved the needle and deleted the rest. If you start remembering now, smash that like and subscribe button. Second hack, memory isn't magic, it's design. Okay, let's get tactical for a second. You know those IKEA manuals? No words, just pictures. Simple, straightforward, kind of brilliant. That's not a coincidence. Kamprad knew that our brains remember images way better than words. Here's what the science says. Your brain processes visuals 60,000 times faster than text. Memory doesn't like complexity. It likes stories, patterns, colors, emotions. And that's what Kamprad mastered. He didn't just store information, he structured it. Like IKEA furniture, memory isn't about cramming things in. It's about giving everything its place. So if you're trying to remember more, don't just repeat things like a broken Siri. Design your memory. Use images. Use emotions. Use stories. Imagine you're walking through an IKEA store. That weird maze where you pass a fake kitchen, then a living room, then suddenly you're in someone's dream Scandinavian bathroom. It's intentional. Each space is a memory trigger. You remember it because your brain says, "Oh, that's the couch section. That's where I spilled a meatball once." Kamprad didn't just sell furniture. He sold memorable environments. Now flip that. Design your life the same way. Make your habits memorable, your routines visual, your learning tactile. Attach stories to facts. Anchor emotions to numbers. Give your brain landmarks instead of landfills. Third hack. The memory is in the mission. Let's zoom out for a second. Why do we even care about remembering everything? Like seriously, what's the point? So, you can ace a test, win an argument, Seems smart on a podcast? Nah. The real reason Kamprad remembered everything? He had a mission. A clear, loud, burn-in-your-bones kind of mission. Ingvar wanted to create a better everyday life for the many people. That was his North Star. Everything he built, every decision, every product, every price tag was mapped back to that one line. He didn't try to remember things. He didn't need to. When your mission is clear, your memory follows. Ever notice how you can forget what you had for lunch, but remember every lyric of a song from 10 years ago? Because that song made you feel something. It meant something. Same with mission-driven memory. You want to remember more? Find what actually matters to you, not just what you're supposed to care about, not what your boss wants, not what school tells you to memorize, what moves you, what aligns with who you are. Because when it matters, it sticks. When it matters, your brain says, this we keep. Fourth hack, the power of repetition done right. Now let's not sugarcoat it. Kamprad wasn't just vibing his way through life. Dude worked hard. He was meticulous. He reviewed prices over and over again. He walked the stores. He talked to the staff. He repeated the vision until it bled into every corner of IKEA. But here's the catch. He didn't repeat out of fear. He repeated out of purpose. There's a difference between anxiety-fueled repetition, aka cramming for an exam while panicking, and intentional repetition, the kind that wires your brain like muscle memory. Kamprad treated repetition like sharpening a blade, not like hitting your head against a wall. So yeah, remembering everything isn't about being some superhuman robot. It's not about downloading your brain into the cloud or chanting mantras in Sanskrit. It's about living with such clarity, such simplicity, such intentionality that your brain wants to remember. Because the details aren't fighting for space anymore. They have room. They have meaning. And when something has meaning, you remember it. Simple as that. That's the thing no one tells you about memory. It's not just about what you try to store. It's about how you feel when you store it. See, Ingvar Kamprad didn't remember everything because he had some magical brain. He wasn't some memory prodigy decoding the universe with every blink. No, he remembered because he built a life that mattered to him. When you care about what you're doing, when your purpose isn't just a task list but a reason to wake up, you don't need flashcards. You don't need to study yourself into an identity crisis. You just remember, because it sticks. And that's what Ingvar got right. He didn't hoard information. He let it live inside the why behind his work. That's why the guy could remember the price of a chair from 1978 and the factory it was made in. Not because he needed to, but because it meant something. That chair wasn't just a product. It was a story, a piece of his mission, affordable furniture for the many, not just the few. And when you move with that kind of clarity, your brain isn't just a storage unit. It's a compass. Let me tell you what Ingvar Kamprad actually did to remember everything. He simplified. He stripped down the noise. He lived in a modest house, drove a 10-year-old Volvo, ate at the IKEA cafeteria like he was just another customer. No ego, no clutter, no cognitive junk drawer. And when your life is that stripped down, your brain gets sharp. You stop wasting energy remembering 19 different passwords, 5 versions of yourself, and which mask to wear in which room. You remember what matters. You become what matters. This wasn't a man obsessed with being smart. This was a man obsessed with being clear. And clarity is where memory thrives. Because think about it. What do you remember from your own life? The random Tuesday where everything was beige? Or the moment you looked someone in the eye and felt something shift? Exactly. We remember the meaningful. And Ingvar, he built his whole life around meaning. Even the IKEA catalogs, to most people, it's just a book. To him, it was sacred. He personally reviewed every issue, every product description, every photo placement. Why? Because it wasn't just furniture. It was a vision on paper. And that's what locked it into his memory, the intention behind it. He remembered because he was present, because he gave a damn. And maybe that's what you needed to hear today. Not another hack or tip or productivity tool, but a reminder that maybe you're forgetting stuff because you're not there when it happens. Like, fully there. Not split between your task and your timeline, not halfway in a moment while your mind is already writing the next email. You want to remember everything? Then give everything your presence. You don't need a photographic memory. You need a purpose-driven one. And look, I'm not saying you have to move to a cabin and throw your phone in a lake, but maybe you start with one chair. Not metaphorically. Literally, one chair. Pick it up, feel the weight, Think about who built it. Think about the person who'll sit in it, what they'll talk about while they're there. That's how Ingvar did it. He didn't build IKEA with spreadsheets and meetings. He built it with moments, with things that mattered. And because they mattered, he remembered them. Not because he had to, because he chose to. Because when you build a life that means something, your memory isn't a burden, it's a reflection of who you are. So maybe the question isn't, how do I remember everything? Maybe it's, what in my life is worth remembering? Start there, because memory follows meaning, and meaning follows presence. And presence? That's a choice you get to make every single day. So slow down, sharpen your axe, sit with the story behind the chair, not just so you can remember facts, but so you can remember yourself. And hey, if this hit you in the chest more than in the head, share it. Send it to the person who's been running on empty, to the one who forgot they're allowed to rest, to breathe, to matter. Hit subscribe if you want more stories that aren't just about success, but about staying human while chasing it. Because this isn't just about Ingvar Kamprad, it's about you, your mind, your memory, your mission. And if that's something you want to build, you're in the right place. You don't need photographic memory. You need functional memory, the kind that helps you remember ideas that grow your wealth, not just your trivia score. Kamprad wasn't a rocket scientist. He was a systems thinker with a frugal heart and a powerful recall system. He remembered what mattered: simplicity, consistency, and impact. If you want to remember everything, start by remembering this. It's not about storing more, it's about storing smart. So, if Ingvar Kamprad could build a global empire with just memory hacks, elbow grease, and a relentless obsession with systems, what's stopping you? Organize your knowledge, repeat with purpose, visualize your goals like they're already built. And hey, if all else fails, just stick a post-it on your forehead. IKEA style. If this helped you assemble a better memory strategy, like, subscribe, and share this with someone who keeps forgetting their passwords and their crypto wallet keys. Drop a comment. What's one financial concept you always forget? And how are you going to IKEAify it? Until next time, keep it simple, keep it smart, and keep building. This is Sticks and Stocks signing off.